You know, when it comes to going on vacation, the one thing that just about everybody takes with them, well, it's a camera. And unlike everybody else, I'm going on a trip and I want to take a camera, but I don't want to just take any camera. I want to take the best camera for me in my situation. And I've got a few that I can pick from. And so in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to break down those three cameras. And then out of those three cameras, at the end, I'll let you know which one I'm picking to take with me on my vacation and the reasons why. So hey, let's get into it. Hey there everybody, this is Mike, this is Load F Media. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel and watching today's video. Today we're going to be talking about action cameras, and not in a specs and deep diving into every feature and every bell and whistle on these three cameras. No, this is more specific towards an average everyday user who wants to document his trip on a cruise. And so that's just like a lot of you out there. You're going to go on a trip. Maybe it's a cruise. Maybe you're going to drive cross country. Maybe you're just going to go to the beach. But you want to take a camera with you because you want to capture those moments. And you don't want one that's going to be overcomplicated. You don't want one that's going to miss shots. And you don't want one that's going to be finicky when it comes to actually using it and then you miss out. So today we've got three cameras that I'm going to walk through and talk about the pros and cons as they relate to me. Maybe they'll be the same things that relate to you, and that's where you'll get the value out of today's video. I'm also going to highlight the cons, the things that don't work so well for me from these cameras, and then ultimately the one I've already decided to take with me on my trip. So hey, let's get started. The first one, it's this one. This is the Insta360. Yep, let me cover up my face so it'll focus. This is the Insta360 Ace Pro, and this is a very, very good action camera. If you look online, you'll see there are a lot of videos about this camera. A lot of people really, really like it, and they're starting to, there's a new grip that came out for this that turns it pretty much into a standard camera. You get the little hand grip and you get the shutter button up at the top. I'm telling you, it's really neat. People are really enjoying this Leica lens, some of the filters that are preloaded into it. I know a lot of people like this flip-up screen right here. They really enjoy the image quality that comes out of this. It is a bit chunkier. I think it's the biggest of the three action cameras. And I do like Insta360. I love their products. Here's the challenge I have with this camera. And while I do enjoy using it, I don't really appreciate the over HDR look. In the first iteration, the Ace Pro, the HDR is always on, can't turn it off. But in the Pro 2, you have the ability to turn it off. And so I don't really enjoy that look. Also, you can't take the lens cap off. So if I'm taking this with me and there's the potential to drop it and I scratch this lens cover, you can't fix it. And so that's a detractor. I do like this big screen. I like that it flips up when I'm in the studio here, but when I'm out and about, having this big screen up while you're trying to vlog and tell people about where you are and what you're doing, well, that instantly brings attention to you and says, hey, guess what? I'm a tourist and I'm using a camera. So for those reasons, this particular camera, while I do really enjoy it, it gets limited use for me. And it's not going to be the one that I want to take with me on this cruise. Not a bad camera, just not the best camera for me this time around. So what's the second one? Well, that's going to be this one here. This is the DJI Osmo Action 4. All right, hopefully we're getting that right there in the shot. There you go. Now this is a little older, just like the Ace Pro is a couple years old. This one also is a couple years old. They already have the newer model, the 5 Pro and the 6. But I found that this has the base features that I need. It does shoot in D-Log, which is DJI's log profile. It has 10-bit color, which is really good. I like the magnetic side when you have it in the case, and that's one of the frustrating things. Let's talk about that first. This case, all right. This case is frustrating because while it does provide a side mounting port, and it is magnetic here because the mount that it uses is a magnetic mount, so it helps you to clip it in. You can only use that magnetized side when the case is on, and if you want to take the case off to slim down the form factor, well, then you don't have that anymore. And then you still have the magnet on the bottom, which is nice, but if you're trying to do content for, let's say, an Instagram reel or a YouTube short, and you want to magnetize this for extra stability, you have to have the case on it. And then it does have these clips. The clips can be kind of finicky. This one has the 1/4 mount at the bottom, so I can put it on a standard tripod, but if you turn it around the wrong way, it doesn't work. It's because they're magnets, and so you got to make sure you click it in the right way. But here's the weird thing. When you put it on a tripod and you screw in that 1/4 mount, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. I'm going to put it close to the microphone, but it wiggles. This little part right here, the base, it wiggles. So when you're using it and you're walking around, there's the potential for that to make noise while you're trying to record. And so that can be very frustrating. So I love this camera. I do like the way it looks, but it doesn't perform that well in low light. And the image a lot of times just isn't that sharp to me. And so I do like that it has a front-facing screen that you can actually use. So while you're filming yourself, you can manipulate your settings through the front-facing screen. That is great. I can connect my DJI Mic 2 to this, but it is challenging. A lot of times it doesn't connect right away. It takes a couple minutes for it to get its act together and for the microphone to actually connect. So that's frustrating, but it gets there eventually. And then it's got pretty decent battery life. I do like that you can take these lens covers off and you can put ND filters on. So that's a win. So a lot of positives here, but it's all about the image. I just don't like that the image that comes out of here 9 times out of 10, if you're in perfect conditions, looks great. But from what I've noticed and what I've been able to achieve, it's not all that dependable when it comes to the image quality. So for me, this one is going to stay on the shelf. So that only leaves one more action camera. Let's talk about it. All right, so it's going to be the GoPro 11. Yep, this is the one that I've had for years. There are 2 other iterations of the GoPro. The 12 and 13 have come out since this one. And while those were great cameras, great improvements, it just wasn't enough to push the needle for me to upgrade this. This does everything I needed to do. I've looked back at some of my footage from other vacations. All right, I've taken this with me to Alaska. I've taken it with me on a cruise to beaches, and I've never been disappointed with the images that come out of here. It's really the photography for me. I took it to Chicago, and some of the images I got, I just couldn't believe they came out of an action camera. This has, I believe, and I'll put it up here, I believe it's like a 32 megapixel sensor, and it's got 10-bit color when you're in video. And so as long as you got the right lighting conditions, and we've all heard it, lighting conditions, this performs great. You see I've got a CPL filter on here right now. And this media mod, let's talk about this real quick. This is clutch, because what this does, one, it gives you the microphone here bidirectional. And so you pick either you want to record what's going on up front, or you want to record yourself talking while you're holding it up and talk from the back. All right, you've got mounting points, cold shoe mounting points here and here. And then you've got all these different options back here. You've got your charging, which is your USB-C. You've got a phone connector, 3.5 millimeter microphone jack. And then up here, you've got an HDMI port, a micro HDMI. And so this really changes how you use this. And so I plug in my microphone. I've got a wireless wireless microphone adapter that's got a 3.5 millimeter jack. I plug it right in here. Now I've got a lapel mic. I can use the USB-C port to do the same thing with a different microphone. And so this really opens up a lot of options. I like the ND filters, and it's rugged, it's waterproof. If I scratch a lens, I can unscrew it and just replace it. And so this to me does everything that I need an action camera to do when I'm on vacation. And as a side note, Mr. Beast is doing his Beast Games Season 2, and every single one of his cameras is a GoPro. Now they get a lot of flack because they haven't done a lot of innovating over the last couple of years. But I will say this, that the images I get out of here are very dependable. I've got multiple batteries, and this thing is just a champ. So this is what I'll be taking with me on my next cruise. Hey, I hope you got value out of this video. I hope you learned some about these cameras, and maybe it helped you decide the action camera you want to take on your next vacation. Hey, if you got any questions about these cameras, hey, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. And if you have any comments about these cameras, which ones you've taken, which ones you like, did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Let me know down in the bottom. And if you like this kind of content, talking about cameras and content creation, well, hey, become a subscriber. Hit that little notification bell so that you can be notified when cool videos like this get dropped. Hey, like I said at the beginning, this is Mike. This is Low Def Media. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next one.